Have you ever thought, what if the journey was actually more important than the destination? Well, today we're diving into this incredible reconstructed manuscript. It's a story about a messenger, a dying emperor, and a mission that takes 11 years. A mission that might just redefine the whole idea of purpose.
So the story kicks off right at the heart of the empire, the absolute center of power. And there's this summons. It's urgent, it's mysterious. The messenger himself? He has no idea why he was chosen. The only thing he's told is that the message itself will explain everything. But here's the thing. Before this epic journey can even begin, he hits a wall, a huge, bureaucratic wall. Turns out, just getting out of the palace is its own impossible errand. I mean, just try to picture it. Endless corridors, offices that all look the same, hallways that somehow lead you right back to where you started. The text talks about this moment of surrender the messenger has to have, where you stop trying to find the way and just let your feet choose. It's a perfect picture of a system so complicated, it just gets in its own way.
And this detail just makes it all the more confusing. You'd think a message from a dying emperor would be top priority, right? But no, it's classified as priority amber, a term whose meaning is a total secret. It's not the highest, it's not the lowest. And the expected return date? Simply unknown.
And if you want to understand how this imperial machine works, look no further than this number. The messenger doesn't have a name. He's a designation, 4,601 of the current cycle. He's just a number, a cog in the machine, totally depersonalized right before he starts this profoundly personal journey.
Okay, so after finally escaping the bureaucratic maze of the palace, our messenger steps out onto the open road. And it's out here that the physical act of walking for 11 straight years starts to change everything.
This is where we see a really fascinating split. You see, there are actually two messages. The first one is locked inside that sealed yellow wax envelope. It's a secret, meant for only one person at the very edge of the empire. But the second message, that's the messenger himself. His steady, visible, unending journey. And that message is for everyone he meets along the way.
And this is the core idea, the big realization. The messenger starts to get it. The dedication, the movement, just the simple fact that the emperor sent someone all the way across the world, that's the most powerful communication of all. It's a message that just says you are thought of. And you know what? Everyone he meets seems to understand this instinctively. An innkeeper tells him about an ancient village tradition that predicted his arrival. A man asks for nothing more than to just touch the satchel because he recognizes its power. He even meets another messenger who's been on the road for 19 years, for an emperor who he says is still dying, this perpetual state that keeps the whole system in motion.
But what happens when you carry a message from the center of power all the way to its edges? Well, the nature of that power itself starts to get a little fuzzy.
An empire doesn't just stop at a border, It just thins out. The grand imperial roads soften into dirt paths. The officials who were everywhere in the capital become just rumors out here, and the rigid top-down authority gets replaced by local customs and community rules.
And this leads him to a pretty profound insight. The messenger realizes that imperial power isn't some static, unchangeable fact. It's a continuous performance. And his own journey, just walking in the emperor's name, is part of that performance. He is the living, breathing evidence of the empire's reach.
So, after 11 years of walking, of literally becoming the message, he finally arrives. And it's here, at what feels like the end of the world, that the true secrets of his errand are about to be revealed.
This is it, the question that's been driving this entire story. What could possibly be so important that it required this monumental 11-year journey? Was it a declaration of war, a state secret, an order that could change the fate of the empire?
The recipient opens the envelope, and that's it. That's what they find inside. Not an order, not some vital piece of information, just their name.
And in that moment, it all becomes clear. The message wasn't a command, it was a connection. In this vast, impersonal empire, maybe the greatest gift the emperor could possibly send was simple recognition. Proof that he knew this one person's name and that he cared enough to send that name all the way across the world.
But hold on, the story isn't quite over. After the delivery is done, the messenger finds another letter, one he never even knew he was carrying, hidden away inside his own satchel. And this one changes everything. This is the final truth. The journey was never really about delivering that envelope.
The whole purpose of the 11-year walk was to transform the messenger himself, to turn him into the living, breathing embodiment of the emperor's attention. The sealed letter, that was just a prop, something to get him walking.
And with that, the errand is complete and the messenger is fundamentally changed. He's free. His walking is no longer about getting somewhere. It's just about the act of walking itself. The journey, which for so long was a means to an end, has finally become the whole point.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? In our own lives, when we're so focused on our goals, on our destinations, what meaning are we finding in the journey itself? And what happens to us, to our sense of purpose, when we finally get there?